Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to our respected lecturer, Prof. Madya Dr. Nur Adli Rizwan Shah, and the audience. First and foremost, I would like to express my gratitude to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala and thank Dr. Adli for giving me an opportunity to present about pejuang saham Muslim for Seacera Group Berhad. Before I begin, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Nunaria binti Zahari, metric number 1182063. Seacera Group Berhad was established on August 24th in 1987 and was listed on Bursa Main Market in 1999. Besides, at least 60% of Seacera is owned by Burmese shareholders. Finally, Seacera Sdn Berhad also providing value that the company offers, whether it is in the customers, people, quality and productivity. Now, we move to the first criteria of counseling, which is current earnings. From this figure, we know that Seacera Group Berhad or Seacera is not doing well in terms of financial and performance, as we can see that the company suffered losses from 2018 to the first quarter of 2020, and the highest profit margin or percentage made by the company was on fourth quarter of 2020, which is 18.3%. Also, the highest loss suffered by the company was in 2019, which is 102.2 million ringgit Malaysia. However, the firm profit after tax is increasing from 0.1 million ringgit Malaysia in the first quarter of 2021 to 0.2 million ringgit Malaysia in the second quarter. So, we can jump to the conclusion that the company is unstable yet able to make a profit slowly during the pandemic. The second criteria are annual earnings growth. Referring to the chart, there has been a continuous declining in terms of profits for 3 consecutive years from 2018 to 2020. However, in 2021, the firm is projected to gain a profit of 0.3 million ringgit Malaysia and the revenue of 2.8 million ringgit Malaysia. In fact, by looking at the growth, we can say that the Seacera Group Berhad does not have much growth in the fiscal years. For the third criteria, which is news and announcements, we can see that from the slide, most of the announcements are about material litigation, and as we can see, there is also an announcement about winding up. So, we can conclude that both news for the company was negative as the company is suffering losses so much. Next, we move to the next criteria, which is supply and demand. To determine whether there is a demand, we must compare the volume and the average volume. If the volume is bigger than the average volume, it means that there is a demand, and vice versa. So, from the figure, it is clearly stated that the volume is 2,718,000, while the average volume is 3,477,600, which means the volume is smaller than the average volume. So, we can say that the demand for Seacera Group Berhad stocks did not exist or too low. Okay, now for the leader and laggard. From the figure, we can see that Seacera Group Berhad stock price is climbing up starting from June. However, the company still has the possibility of going down due to the criteria such as the company earnings and growth. So, I personally assume that Seacera Group Berhad can be considered as laggard. Next is for the institutional investors. Figure here shows that the market capitalization for Seacera Group Berhad is 96 million and the number of outstanding shares is 481 million. Also, the adjusted float for the firm is 83.4%, which shows that the company has many institutional investors and low individual investors. As we can see from the figure, the stock is highly correlated with IWCT, Takaful, DGB and Econ Berhad. Lastly, since the firm has a high float, it can be said that the company's stock are quite popular among the investors. Lastly, for the market directions. We can see that from June 2020 till today, the price of stocks keep on fluctuates. The price reaches the peak during August 2020 and fall but able to rise again on the nearest time. In October 2020, the trend started to drop rapidly until December of 2020. Furthermore, even if it fluctuates, obviously, the overall chart is making a slowdown trend. In a nutshell, we can see from the table provided, based on my observation and preferences, we can see that the overall weighted for Seacera Group Berhad is only 0.3 out of 1. It is because Seacera only fulfill the criteria of current earnings and institutional investors, and the firm can be considered as underperformed company. That is all from me. I hope you will receive some input from my explanation. Thank you for lending me your ears. Assalamualaikum.